Not long ago, scientists over in Iceland caught sight of a gang of orcas having a joyful time, cruising and communicating away without a worry. Out of the blue, the aquatic chatterbox went hush. After some time, the orcas hightailed it out of there, zooming off to dodge a potential showdown. You gotta hand it to them. This isn't the typical orca act you'd experience from the ruler of the sea. Well, this swift change in behavior was all thanks to the arrival of the ocean's top-tier troublemaker, the apex predator that could steal the spotlight even from the mightiest of orcas. Meet the sworn adversary of the killer whale, the pilot whale. Pilot whales are a remarkable group of the second largest oceanic dolphins after killer whales. They belong to the genus of 𝗪𝗣𝗥𝗟𝗪𝗧, which splits their sea stage between two species, 𝗪𝗣𝗥𝗪𝗧, also known as the long-finned pilot whale, and 𝗪𝗣𝗥𝗪𝗧, aka short-finned pilot whale. As they glide through the waves, these two species exhibit a striking physical resemblance that means differentiating them becomes an aquatic puzzle. So, scientists have turned to scrutiny of their skulls to identify their species. However, their habitats tell a different story. While spanning across the globe, the long-finned pilot whales find comfort in colder waters, whereas their short-finned counterparts embrace the tropical and subtropical expanses. The animals were ascribed the name pilot whales because their ponds were believed to be piloted by a leader. The genus name was a fusion of the Latin word globus, signifying a spherical object, and the Greek 𝗑𝗓𝗏, which translates to head. Their remarkable presence comes to life in a captivating fashion, as they flaunt a dusky gray or ebony physique adorned with patches of lighter hues that resemble a gray saddle situated just beyond the dorsal fin. Marked by a forward-positioned dorsal fin curving rearward, the pilot whale stands sturdier than most dolphins and boasts a conspicuously large, bulging melon. Adding to their chilling visage are the lengthy flippers that they possess, shaped like crescents, and tail stalks that flatten on the sides. As members of the toothed dolphin family, these creatures possess 7 to 9 compact, strong teeth in each jaw. Both species of pilot whales exhibit sexual dimorphism, flaunting a stark contrast in size and weight. The long-finned pilot whales take the spotlight as the heavyweight contenders when juxtaposed with their short-finned counterparts. Grown-up long-finned pilot whales typically stretch out from 19 to 25 feet, with males outpacing females by an additional meter. In terms of weight, they can vary between a whopping 5,511 to 9,920 pounds in males. On the other hand, full-grown short-finned pilot whales can hit a body length of up to 24 feet and bear a top-notch load of 8,818 pounds. Known as the cheetahs of the deep, these enigmatic creatures have perfected an offbeat hunting technique. During their pursuit, they swiftly plunge with a torpedo-like motion, revving up to a blazing 20 miles per hour and maintaining this breakneck pace for a staggering 650 feet. To pull off this feat, pilot whales typically gulp down several breaths before submerging for a few minutes. In contrast to sperm whales and beaked whales, when pilot whales are on the prowl, they crank up the energy at the same depth. Even as they near the end of their dive, they kick into a sprint, perhaps to seize their quarry, followed by a series of rapid bursts. This behavior is anything but ordinary. You think holding your breath and swimming slowly is the smart move, but nope. Nature's got its own plan here. Their turbocharged metabolism lets them dash at such insane depths. These guys can keep their feeding frenzy going for more than 10 to 15 minutes. Although they could explore depths as jaw-dropping as 5,900 feet, most of their dives are more like hanging out at the 100 to 200 feet range. They keep it shallow when the sun's up, and they go deep when the stars are out. In contrast to this exceptional set of attributes, these oceanic dolphins have a pretty nomadic lifestyle. They are constantly on the move, chasing their next meal ticket. As the top predators of the deep blue, these guys mostly feast on squid. But they're no food snobs. They'll munch on Atlantic cod, Greenland turbot, Atlantic mackerel, herring, hake, spiny dogfish, and even octopus when the mood strikes. And don't be shocked if you catch them dining on other marine mammals. I mean, pilot whales are the bullies of the marine block, no surprise there. Sperm whales, for instance, those big blubbery giants, ain't exactly throwing them a welcome party. Although there's no hard proof that pilot whales are a real threat to sperm whales, but maybe they're just spooking them for fun. In August of 2016, a gang of about 40 pilot whales threw a whale-sized smackdown on a poor, defenseless humpback. But the drama don't stop there. As mentioned earlier, these oceanic enigmas can even make orcas sweat. In spots all over the globe, from Iceland and beyond, long-finned pilot whales have been caught red-handed, chasing and mobbing the supposed apex predators orcas. The exact motivations behind these pursuits remain a mystery, but some suggest it could be a competition for prey, or a clever anti-predator tactic. Anyways, the interaction between these two species goes deeper than meets the eye. Recently, an adult female Icelandic killer whale was spotted with a newborn pilot whale tagging along in a mother-calf formation, leaving scientists puzzled. The same killer whale was later witnessed mingling with a larger group of pilot whales a year down the line. Whether this tiny calf was taken under the orca's wing or whisked away remains a mystery. At times, pilot whales launch surprise attacks on orcas from behind, reinforcing the notion that they're constantly vigilant and ready to defend themselves even when there's no apparent threat in sight. However, what truly boggles the mind in all of these interactions is that long-finned pilot whales off the southern coast of Australia have been caught mimicking the vocalizations of orcas while scavenging for sustenance. This peculiar behavior is believed to serve as a deterrent, preventing orcapods from coming too close to the pilot whale territory. Perhaps there is a reason that some Icelandic researchers speculate that it's only pilot whales that can give killer whales shivers. Ironically, in such a grand scheme of oceanic rivals, humans tend to be the only predators of pilot whales. The long-finned pilot whale has, for ages, been targeted using a technique called whale herding. This method involves a fleet of hunters and boats assembling in a semicircle behind a pod of pilot whales near the coast, coercing them slowly toward a bay, where they ultimately find themselves marooned and met with their doom. These marine giants were sought after for their bones, meat, oil, and even their potential as fertilizer. Unfortunately, pilot whales have also fallen prey to bycatch incidents, in which hunters unintentionally ensnare these rare beings. In return, pilot whales will generally display minimal interest in human beings, often maintaining a calm distance when confronted by our species. However, this demeanor may not hold true in every instance. On May 17th of 1992, Lisa Costello and her friend, a cameraman, stumbled upon a pod of pilot whales off the coast of Hawaii while filming these seemingly non-threatening creatures. Out of the blue, one of them nipped at her leg and seized her by the ankle, pulling her beneath the water's surface. Deeper and deeper she descended, ensnared in the grip of this colossal creature. Costello had no scuba gear, so she was forced to hold her breath throughout the ordeal. Just as her lungs were about to burst, the whale returned her to the surface. Remarkably, she suffered only minor injuries. Nevertheless, the incident represents one of the rare misadventures involving pilot whales. Experts speculate that the particular pilot whale that encountered Costello was perhaps attempting to engage in playful behavior, rather than being intentionally aggressive. Both species of pilot whales are highly social animals, typically living in groups that vary in size, ranging from just a couple of individuals to gatherings of more than 1,000. However, it's also more common to observe groups consisting of 20 to 150. Pilot whales are also renowned for their surface antics, engaging in playful water ballets like lob-tailing, where they make a splash by slapping their tail flukes on the water stage, and spy hopping, where they sneakily peek their heads above the water surface. Among cetaceans, pilot whales are frequently involved in mass strandings, which is believed to be a result of their close-knit social bonds. Although the exact cause of this behavior remains a mystery, several theories have been proposed that suggest that these whales may become disoriented by fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field, especially if they rely heavily on magnetic signals for navigation. Another possibility is that they might be following a sick member of their group who has become stranded. Occasionally, groups of them might repeatedly return to the location they had previously experienced a mass stranding event due to their emotional attachment to a crucial member of their group who's been stranded there before. Male pilot whales of both long and short-finned species showcase assertive courtship conduct, characterized by the vigorous and high-speed collision of their melons. These species practice loose polygamy, with males typically mating with multiple females. Although occasional reverse scenarios occur, during gatherings, males temporarily leave their pods to mate with females from other groups, enhancing genetic diversity with their populations. Pilot whales have one of the lengthiest reproductive intervals amongst cetaceans, giving birth approximately once every 3 to 5 years. The gestation period for a long-fin pilot whale spans 12 to 16 months, while short-finned pilot whales have a 15-month gestation period. In the case of short-finned pilot whales, females attain sexual maturity at 9 years old, while males reach maturity at around 13 to 16 years of age. Long-finned pilot whales see females reaching maturity at approximately 8 years, and males at about 12 years. Both species have lifespans of about 45 years for males and 60 for females. As of today, the global population size of pilot whales remains unknown. However, the IUCN Red List recognizes them as least concern due to the estimated presence of a sufficient pilot whale population worldwide.